Naturally, I avoided such situations. At all cost, I avoided sitting quietly with a book. Whoever is out there making fun of Prince Harry, eat a dick. Well, hello there, love bugs. Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share the Facebook and Twitter if you have one, and visit uptopbeauty.com for these Camilla flowers. I don't know if we have any gray ones left. I'm not sure, but you go on over there, check it out for yourself and see which color you like. And if you are not already a part of this book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's continue talking about, I left the book cover at home, but Prince Harry's Spare. In the early autumn of 1998, having completed my education at Ludgrove the previous spring, I entered Eton. Eton is where Prince William already is. Once or twice, I'd confess to a teacher or a fellow student that I wasn't merely in the wrong class, but in the wrong location. I was in a way over my head. They'd always say the same thing. Don't worry, you'll be all right. And don't forget, you always have your brother, Willie. I had mentioned earlier that Prince Harry was having difficulty with his schooling, whereas when he was in the previous school, Ludgrove, he was at the top of the food chain. Coming here to this high school, using our term, it was hard. Some children thrive in elementary school, and then when they get to middle school or high school, it's hard for them. So I think Prince Harry really did have trouble learning. Let me say this. I'm really disappointed with how America or the world is receiving this book. They're making fun of him. How are you making fun of a child that was clearly troubled? This is a man that is trying to explain his plight as a young royal. He exposed himself to the world and what he's going through. And people are making fun of him for oversharing. Nothing in this book is oversharing. Nothing to me. He's saying what he'd been through in his life. I mean, I don't know. I'm just so ashamed at how people are receiving this book right now. I want to kick everybody up the ass. He said when he got to Eton, the same school that Willie is, and he's thriving, he has his footing, that when he approached Prince William for help, Prince William was like, just pretend that you don't know me. I have enough of you when we're home. I want to be my own individual person here. Now, you know these two ain't black. Because let your black mammy find out that your ass did not help your little sister fight that bitch named Curl. It's going to be some problems and some constitutions. And we know this. Child, I've been calling it Elton. It's Eton. My bad. Anyway, one day he out doing sports because sports is his thing. Listen. Some children excel in academics and some children excel in sports. Period. One day he playing around with his pals or his mates, as he call them, right? And they like, ooh, your hair, it's all crazy. You should let me have a go at it, mate. Child bang. Prince Harry decided that he was going to let his friend, his so-called friend, have a go at his head. Okay? All right? He looked in the mirror. The dude shaved him bald. He running around frantically like, why would you do this to me? I mean, because you let him, Prince Harry. But like I said, Prince Harry, I think, is a bit off. I'm not making fun of him, but if you read the book, you can tell that there are some issues there. That's why I'm so mad at the world for being so hard on him about the book. Shout out to you, Meghan Markle. I believe that you was the best thing for him, to be quite honest, because you know she's a Leo woman. Prince Harry needs a very strong-willed woman to help him navigate through this cruel world. He run upstairs to his brother Willie. Willie, look what happened to me. Now, instead of Willie going downstairs and giving them ninjas the what for because they done took advantage of his brother, Willie laughed at him. He like, ain't this a bunch of shit? Harold, what have you done? What a question. He sounded like Stewie from Family Guy. Wasn't it obvious? You shouldn't have done it, Harold. So we're just stating the obvious now. He said a few more things that were immensely unhelpful, and I walked out. Worse ridicule was yet to come. A few days later, on the front page of the Daily Mirror, one of the tabloids, there I was with my new haircut. Headline, Harry the Skinhead. I couldn't imagine how they got wind of the story. A schoolmate must have told someone who told someone who told the papers. They had no photo, thank goodness, but they'd improvised. The image on the front page was a computer-generated rendering of despair, bald as an egg, a lie, more than a lie, really. I looked bad, but not that bad. I didn't think it could get worse. What a grievous mistake it is for a member of the royal family when considering the media to imagine that things can't get worse. Weeks later, the same newspaper put me on the front page again. Harry's had an accident. I'd broken a bone in my thumb playing rugby. No big deal. But the paper decided to make out that I was on life support. Bad taste under any circumstances. But a little more than a year after Mommy's alleged accident. Come on, fellas. I dealt with the British press all my life, but they'd never before singled me out. In fact, since Mommy's death, an unspoken agreement had governed press treatment of both her sons, and the agreement went like this: lay off. Let them have their education in peace. Apparently, that agreement had now expired because there I was, splattered across the page, made out to seem a delicate flower or an ass, or both. I forget who used the word first. Someone in the press, probably, or one of my teachers. Whoever, it took hold and circulated. I'd been cast in my role in the rolling royal melodrama. Long before I was old enough to drink a beer. Legally, it became dogma. Harry, he's the naughty one. Naughty to them means bad boy. And I find when you label someone a bad boy or a child bad, because you know, they don't want us to call children bad, because if you call a child bad, oh, them ninjas will show you bad. Let's say street dudes. Right? If you label them a menace, then they're going to show you a menace, especially if in their heart they don't feel like they're a bad person. They may feel misunderstood. But with Harry, with them labeling him naughty, i.e. bad boy Bobby Brown, bad boy, I think what it did was just fuel something that was already inside of him. Let's not forget that what he said was that he felt as if he was dealing with depression and anxiety. Harry, to me, has some undiagnosed issues. Now, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm just going by what he said in the book. So when you have those issues, like all bad boys, okay, Bobby Brown said that he realized that he had been bipolar his whole life. But when you're dealing with those issues and they're undiagnosed and you're not addressing it, I mean, what do you expect from her? Naughty became the tide I swam against, the headwind I flew against, the daily expectation I could never hope to shake. Like I said, if you want to label me a bad boy and in my heart I don't feel like I'm a bad boy, then fuck it then. I'm going to show you a bad boy. I didn't want to be naughty. I wanted to be noble. I wanted to be good, work hard, grow up, and do something meaningful with my days. But every sin, every misstep, every setback triggered the same tired label and the same public condemnation, and thereby reinforced the conventional wisdom that I was innately naughty. Have you guys ever worked with a supervisor And no matter what you did, that bitch found it wrong. I had a supervisor like that, where no matter what I did, she always found something wrong. Always. And I'm like, wait a minute. I've been with 72 other supervisors before you. Now it's wrong all the time. So what you're basically doing, and once I said this to her, she backed down for me. But so you mean to tell me the 72 supervisors I had before you who didn't have a problem with it, and now you do? You're basically saying that those supervisors before you were inept. So what happens is, if they don't like you, they pick on you. So much so where it becomes maddening. And then you want me to be this person, then I'm going to be that person for you. Okay, so that's what the media was doing to Harry. No matter what he did, it was always a problem. It didn't matter that Willie could be going through the same issues, doing the same thing. It's just that they were so focused on Prince Harry that Prince William was able to get away with anything. Now, I don't know this, but this is what this is projecting to me. Child, I done had another cup of coffee. Who knows what's going to come out of my mouth? Things might have been different if I'd achieved good grades, but I didn't, and everyone knew it. My reports were in the public domain. The whole Commonwealth was aware of my academic struggles, which were largely due to being overmatched at, Eton. Child, my bad for calling it Elton. I just can't believe that people are making fun of him for this book. I just can't believe it. But no one ever discussed the other probable cause. Mummy. Study concentration requires an alliance with the mind, and in my teen years I was waging all-out war with mine. Boom. I was forever fending off its darkest thoughts, its basest fears, its fondest memories. The fonder the memory, the deeper the ache. I'd found strategies for doing this, some healthy, some not, but all quite effective. And whenever they were unavailable, for instance, when I was forced to sit quietly with a book, I freaked out. Naturally, I avoided such situations. At all cost, I avoided sitting quietly with a book. Whoever is out there making fun of Prince Harry, eat a dick. He's saying in the book he had some issues as a child. What the fuck? And I'm sure all of your children, or at least one of them, got some issues with concentration. I'm sorry, niggas make, ooh. And I said I wasn't going to use the word nigga in this book. But right now, the people that are making fun of Prince Harry, y'all some niggas. Must have been early spring 1999. I must have been home from Eton for the weekend. I woke to find Pa on the edge of my bed saying I was going back to Africa. Africa, Pa? Yes, darling boy. Why? It was the same old problem, he explained. I was facing a longish school holiday over Easter, and something needed to be done with me. So Africa, Botswana, to be precise. Safari? With you, Pa? No, alas. He wouldn't be going along this time, but Willie would. Oh, good. And someone very special, he added, acting as our African guide. Who, Pa? Marco. Marco? I barely knew the man, though I'd heard good things. He was Willie's minder, and Willie seemed to like him very much. Everyone did, for that matter. Why, if he was all that, why the hell you didn't put Marco with Prince Harry? We flew direct to Johannesburg, then by prop plane to Man, the largest city in northern Botswana. There we met up with a large group of safari guides who steered us into a convoy of open-topped Land Cruisers. We drove off straight into pure wilderness towards the vast Okavango Delta, which I soon discovered was possibly the most exquisite place in the world. As we neared this enchanted place, I had trouble catching my breath. Lions, zebras, giraffes, hippos. Surely this was all a dream. At last we stopped, our campsite for the next week. The stop was bristling with more guides, more trackers, a dozen people at least. Lots of high fives, bear hugs, names flung at us. Harry Williams say hello to Adi. 20-year-old, long hair, sweet smile. Harry Williams say hi to Roger and David. And at the center of it all stood Marco, like a traffic cop, directing, cajoling, embracing, barking, laughing, always laughing. I wanted to ask Willie what it was like to have such a man minding him, guiding him, but apparently the Eton rule carried over to Botswana. Willie didn't want to know me in the bush any more than he did back at school. Why isn't William taking care of his little brother or guiding him? And I said it, goddammit, and I'm standing 10 toes planted. If William was more of a hands-on big brother, a lot of the shenanigans that Prince Harry had going on wouldn't have happened if William was more so a part of his life. But like I said, I'm not a white child. I was never a white child growing up in a white family. Am I wrong? If I fight, we all fight. That's why wasn't nobody messing with the Wayans, the Murphys. Who else is a big family? Like, pause. Okay. We had this group of girls that lived underneath of us on Morton Street, child. Oh my God. All of them was light skinned. All of them was pretty. Okay. All of them, right? But me, I knew better. I befriended one of them. You know why? Because I knew that bitch had 7 other sisters. And what I didn't have was time to be fighting one, because I knew that if you fought one, you fought them all. Okay? Now, Mick, on the other hand, she don't give 2 shits about none of that. Okay? Bitches, I'm going to get the biggest one. One night, around the fire, all the guides and trackers discussed the river, shouting stories about riding it, swimming it, boating it, fearing it. Everyone talking over each other. I heard it all that night. Speaking of weirdness, the smell of marijuana wafted on the air. The stories grew louder, sillier. I asked if I could try. Everyone golfed. Willie looked at me in horror. But I wouldn't back off. I pleaded my case. I was experienced, I said. Head swung around. Oh, really? Now dig this. Willie looking at him, aghast. Why in the hell Willie didn't get up and smack him in the face? Bow! There you go. You want something to smoke on? Bow! Smoke on that. What? Are you crazy? I had recently pinched 2 6-packs of Smirnoff Ice and drunk them till we passed out, I boasted. The adults exchanged sly glances. One shrugged, rolled a new joint, and passed it to me. Child, this nigga was smoking oregano. He's sitting there coughing like he done smoked a real damn thing. All he got was a headache and some spice. Hugh and Emil were old friends of Paul's. They lived in Norfolk, and we often went to visit them for a week or two during school holidays and summers.